In the sun-drenched hills of southern Sicily, behind the stone walls of a quiet convent, one woman penned a message that would echo across centuries. A message believed to be dictated by the devil himself. Isabella di Tomasi was born around 1645 into a noble Sicilian family in Palermo, direct ancestors of the famed author Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa. Raised amid the Baroque grandeur of the city, Isabella was drawn to spiritual life from an early age. At 15, she entered the Benedictine convent at Palma di Montechiaro, a quiet coastal town founded by her own relatives. Upon taking her vows, she became Sister Maria Crocifissa della Concisione. Within the cloistered walls, she immersed herself in prayer, ritual, and the study of sacred texts. She quickly distinguished herself for her humility and intellect, mastering Latin, Greek, and other ancient languages. By the time she was 30, pilgrims traveled from across Sicily to witness her devotions and seek her spiritual counsel. On the night of August 11, 1676, Sister Maria was found collapsed on the floor of her cell, her face and hands smeared with ink. Clutched in her fingers was a sheet of parchment covered in 14 lines of cryptic symbols and letters. The other nuns believed the writing to be the work of Satan, forced from her hand by demonic possession. Abbess Maria Serafica recorded the event in the convent chronicle. The only decipherable word was Oheim, O me, while the rest appeared to be a chaotic blend of alphabets, Greek, Latin, Runic, Cyrillic, and even symbols linked to the Yazidi faith. The letter defied all attempts at translation and was quickly locked away in the convent's archive. Following the incident, Sister Maria withdrew further into silence and contemplation. Though she never spoke of the letter again, she continued her duties with quiet resolve. She mentored younger nuns, copied religious manuscripts, and walked the cloister gardens at dawn, her gaze distant but serene. Despite whispers of possession and spiritual warfare, she remained a pillar of faith within the convent. Her reputation endured, though the mystery of the letter cast a long shadow over her final decades. On October 16, 1699, at the age of 54, Sister Maria passed away peacefully in her cell. Her death was recorded with reverence, and she was buried in the cemetery of the Monastery of the Most Holy Rosary in Palma di Montechiaro. Her grave lies beneath a centuries-old olive tree, marked by a simple stone, a quiet monument to a life of devotion and mystery. For over 300 years, the Devil's Letter remained sealed in the convent archive. Scholars and theologians attempted to decode it, but every effort ended in failure. The document became known as La Lettera del Diavolo, a whispered legend of demonic possession and spiritual resistance. Rumors persisted that Sister Maria had written more than one letter, but only the original survived. The others, if they existed, vanished shortly after her death. Some speculated that the Church had suppressed them to avoid scandal. In August 2017, the Ludum Science Center in Sicily obtained a high-resolution scan of the letter and launched a bold new investigation. Director Daniele Abate and his team used a decryption algorithm originally designed for military intelligence. To train the software, they fed it samples of ancient Greek, Latin, Arabic, and Runic script. Once primed, the program began to isolate syllables and reconstruct a coherent message, one far more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. The decrypted text revealed a blasphemous manifesto. God and Jesus are dead weights. This system works for no one. God thinks he can free mortals. Perhaps now, Styx is certain. Humans are responsible for the creation of God. The letter mocked the Holy Trinity and suggested that true liberation lay not in salvation, but in the river Styx, the mythological boundary between life and the underworld. The Church's worst fears were confirmed. This was not gibberish, but a deliberate theological attack. Scholars remain divided. Some believe Sister Maria suffered from mental illness, perhaps schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, her mind conjuring a linguistic storm from the texts she studied. Others argue that she truly battled demonic forces. Daniele Abate himself admitted, "We expected a few words, instead we uncovered a rich, heretical manifesto." Two questions remain. Why were the other letters never found? Did the Church alter or censor the original document before sealing it away? Today, the original Devil's Letter remains locked in the convent archives at Palma di Montechiaro. Only accredited researchers may view it by special permit. A digital facsimile is housed at the Ludum Science Center, where visitors can explore its translation and test their own decryption skills. The letter has inspired art installations exploring faith and madness, documentaries on early modern possession, escape rooms themed around cryptic religious puzzles. Centuries later, Sister Maria's ink-stained scrawl continues to haunt the edges of faith and reason, a chilling reminder of the fragile boundary between divine revelation and spiritual delusion.